should you take someone back after they cheat on you, or like should you leave the relationship if your partner cheats?
Would you like to go first?
I think it really depends on the situation and what happened, and I think most importantly how your partner is handling the situation, the one who cheated. You know what I mean? So let's say it's if you cheated, right? And I found out, you didn't tell me. I just found out. When I confronted you with it, you lie about it and you pretend that it didn't happen or try to gaslight me into thinking that it didn't happen. Or if you're not almost immediately open to having a conversation about it and already working on changing and you're apologetic, that's one thing. Because I definitely think that anything can be overcome, and I think it would be a lot of work and potentially impossible. You might not ever work through that. But I think that if your partner's not giving you an energy where they're like, I'm so sorry, this is the worst thing I've ever done, I love you so much, please let me try to fix this. If they're not giving you that energy, then immediately walk away.
I feel like there's a lot that goes into cheating. I feel like if an individual ever gets to the point where they feel like it's necessary to cheat, they either need to break up with their partner or they need to go to their partner and express the things that they feel like they're missing out of their relationship in order for their partner to have the opportunity to for their partner to have the opportunity to try to fulfill those needs. Give your partner a chance to be a partner before you go look for what you feel like you're missing somewhere else. And if you do get to the point where you feel like, oh, fuck it, I'm just going to go find what I need somewhere else, then you have to understand that there's consequences to your actions, and you have the potential to either lose your partner if your partner decides not to take you back, or if your partner does take you back, it's like you have to deal with the fact that you've hurt your partner so much to the point where where's all these hairs coming from? You've hurt your partner so much to the point.
Speed check reported ahead on I-77 South.
Of course, there's a speed check. You have to understand that you hurt your partner so much to the point they might not forgive you, and it might be hard for them to forgive you. They might be holding animosity against you because how dare you cheat,
and you don't have a right to tell them not to, or to ask them not to feel
or to
that
get
way.
over it, or
I
thought we were already past
I already
that.
apologized. I said I was sorry.
Especially if you, the cheater, are not willing to go back and dissect what happened, why it happened, and how to reconcile, as you stated before, because just because you might be okay with the fact that you cheated doesn't mean that your partner's okay with the fact that you cheated.
Right. And you understand all of the pieces that went into that, and that's how you've justified it or worked through it in your in your mind, in your brain, but without giving your partner that same opportunity to work through it when they're the ones that were wronged. That's not fair. It's not going to work.
And I feel like some people can't get over the fact that the person they loved and cared for was willing to give everything that, as the person got cheated on, I would not be able to fathom the thought of us having such a beautiful relationship under my assumption. And then you go to cheat and everything that I believed to be true was false at that point, because there's no way we can have such a beautiful, amazing relationship and then you just go cheat like that, because if the relationship was that beautiful in your personal opinion or through your perspective, then you wouldn't have had a necessity to go find more somewhere else or find something different somewhere else.
I don't think that happens that often, though. I feel like anytime someone is going to cheat, there are red flags. You know what I mean? There are signs that the relationship is not healthy. You don't have a relationship and be on the same level and be this healthy like what we're doing now and then cheat on each other.
Yeah, and I think that the issue is that, I don't say issue necessarily, but the thing is that the person who didn't get cheated on, I think that they acknowledge that there's a lot going on in their relationship and they've been trying to fix it and work on it, but the other person is just
maybe oblivious or
choosing not to acknowledge it or feel like, oh, this is too hard, so let me go find something that's easier, and they go cheat. There's a number of reasons why people cheat. They might be insecure themselves. They might be seeking more validation outside of their relationship. They might be seeking a different form of comfort, or they might be missing emotional aspect. There's a number of reasons why individuals cheat, of course, but I just don't feel like any of those reasons are valid, because you can go to your partner or you can leave the relationship.
I agree. I don't think there is any reason that you should cheat. Ever. I don't think that it's okay. Regardless of the situation, I don't care what the situation is. I think that if you're in a relationship where it's possible for you to cheat, you have a responsibility to be open and honest with your partner before that happens.
I agree.
And if you're not willing to do that, then you got no business being in a relationship.
Right. If you don't feel like your partner is going to be the partner you need, then why be with that person to begin with?
And if you're cheating, then you know that your partner, you know what the issue is, or at least you could if you thought about it at all. You know what I mean? And if you know that, it's not okay for you not to say something or not to attempt to resolve it or not to walk away. You don't have a responsibility to fix it, but you have you have made a commitment to this person. You have a responsibility to honor that commitment. And if you're not willing to, then you need to walk away.
Right. Instead of hurting somebody in the process because you can't decide what you want and who you are as a person. It's not fair.
So then to bring that back around to the initial question, if you were to cheat on me, I would leave.
I would expect you to leave because I'm willing to gamble your feelings in our relationship for my selfishness and my infidelity. I'm willing to say, you know what? I can either go to Delilah and give her an opportunity to give me more love or give me more sex or give me more emotional comfort.
Or give us an opportunity to work it out.
Right. Or go find us somewhere else. Or even, let's say, hypothetically, I felt like I have been bringing these things to you and you just, I hear you, but nothing has changed. It still does not justify cheating. I can't say, well, I cheated because you weren't giving me the things that I needed, so I want to go find somewhere else. Just fucking leave.
Just leave.
And then if you get cheated on, you're not obligated to forgive the person who cheated on you. You're not obligated to say, you know what, I forgive you, I'll take you back because I love you. You can still love somebody, but identify that just because you love them, it's necessary in this case to separate yourself from them because they don't love you the same way. Because if you put yourself in their shoes, could you see yourself replicating the same actions they did to you and hurting them the same way they did to you? And the answer to that is going to be no.
And if you can, it sounds like you're in a toxic relationship.
Right. If you're willing to go tit for tat and play who's pettier, you're trying to be the biggest petty officer in town. Right. Obviously, you're not going to get anywhere with that. And it's unfortunate that people are willing to sacrifice their own happiness and compromise their trust in order to take somebody back who cheated on them because they feel like, we put in so many years in this relationship and I don't want it to end and I wanted to work it out and I wanted to thrive. And
I don't want to deal with finding a new partner and I don't want to deal with starting over.
But look what you're sacrificing in the process. You're sacrificing everything you do want for the things that you don't want. But you're still going through the things you don't want because you're too afraid to go find what you do want.
Or build what you do want.
Right. And if you identify that, I always use the example. I say, okay, I understand you put in so much time with this person. I understand y'all been through so much. I said, but hypothetically speaking, if this was the same person, but y'all were only together for a month, would that change your perspective on how you would handle the situation? If it wasn't 5 years and it was 1 month, and they cheated on you after 1 month, how would you feel? A lot of people are like, I would have fucking left a long time ago. So what's the difference? Well, we put in so much time. We had so many good memories. And I always say, well, if you had so much time and good memories, and if it was that good, then why did they cheat? Why did they leave? Why did they do all these things? If they had the same perspective as you, say this relationship was phenomenal, then why do they feel the need to go find something different or something more if they felt the same way about it?
Because it's easier to look at the relationship through rose-colored glasses and pretend that it's just the good times when you don't want to deal with or work through the things that cause the bad ones.
And it's only too hard and it's only too scary because you're not willing to try it and it's new. You're not willing to say, you know what? I love you, but I love me more. You're not willing to say, I love you, but since you can't love me, I have no choice but to love me because you're not willing to love me the way I need to be loved. And I think a lot of people aren't capable of being alone. They'd rather be with somebody who treats them bad than to be alone and figure out what it is they genuinely want. Because obviously you don't want somebody who treats you bad, but you can't say being alone is scarier than being in a relationship with somebody who doesn't appreciate you or doesn't value you.
Well, I think it's that fear of the unknown. You know what I mean? Because if you've never been alone, all you've ever been is in, and especially if all you've ever been is in toxic relationships, it's way scarier to try to, I don't know what that's going to look like. I know what this looks like. I know what to expect.
Yeah, I know what toxic looks like, but
I don't know what that looks like. No, thank you.
But the thing is, eventually you get exhausted from being in so many toxic relationships. You got no choice but to be alone.
Right.
But if being alone is scary to you, then that means you feel obligated to always need somebody there. No matter how they treat you, you need them there because you're too afraid to be alone on your own.
And that's your biggest sign that you should be alone.
That's your biggest sign that you should be comfortable being alone until you should be comfortable being alone. And then when you get to a point where you're comfortable being alone, then you can be comfortable with somebody else.
Right.
Because you know for a fact that if this hypothetically doesn't work out, I'm okay.
Right.
I'm going to be okay. It's going to suck. I'm going to be hurt. I'm going to be heartbroken.
But I'm not going to die.
Right. I'm not going to die. It's not the end of the world. I'm not going to stop dating. I'm not going to try to stop loving. I'm not going to try to stop feeling. Acknowledge your feelings, but remember how you got to this point of feeling the way you feel. And every time you think about accepting less than what you deserve, remember that feeling of feeling like shit and being used and abused and taken for granted. And then let that propel you and get you to understand. You have a choice. You can either stay and continue to feel the way you feel and feel sad for yourself, or you can acknowledge the way you feel and say, I don't want to feel this way no more. I refuse to tolerate shitty relationships with shitty people. But I think everyone in the world, no matter who they are, deserves happiness. They deserve love. They deserve to be cherished. They deserve to be cared for. But I think that some people are choosing not to be loved and not to be cared for by allowing, just because you didn't say, yeah, I want you to cheat on me, you also didn't say, no, it's time for me to leave.
Right.
You're not condoning it voluntarily, but involuntarily you condoning it by staying.
You're teaching them that it's okay. You're teaching them that it's okay for them to treat you this way, and you're going to stick around.
By saying nothing, nothing's gonna change. Nothing's gonna be different. And like, if I ever cheated on you, I would expect you to leave. And if you ever cheated on me, I would leave. I know I deserve better. You are the best for me. And
also, if that's gonna happen, then the relationship is not at all what we thought it was.
No, not at all. It's not at all what we thought. I won't say everything was a lie, because you genuinely might love me if you cheated, or I might love you if I cheated. But also, love is not enough to... But
if that can happen, then we don't have the basis of understanding and respect and empathy for one another. And without that foundation, we don't...
There's no relationship. I have to be able to put myself in your shoes to say, if I do this, if I do make this decision, if I do cheat, how would she feel? What would she think? What would be on her mind? And that should hurt me, the fact that I even think about giving the love that I give for her, that she cherishes, she adores, to somebody else, because I'm unhappy. I'm not content. I'm willing to hurt her in the process,
right,
to go give what I have to somebody else, because I'm indecisive and I don't know what I want. Because if I knew what I wanted, and I'm already in a healthy relationship, and I've been wanting a healthy relationship, but what would be a necessity to go find more? And I would hope that you never fucking, no matter what circumstance, no matter if it was emotional cheating, no matter if it was physically cheating, no matter if it was, oh, I was just talking to her because you weren't talking to me enough, I don't give a fuck. I expect you to leave.
If you intentionally violate your partner's trust, they have a responsibility to protect themselves.
Yeah.
And to do what they need to do to make sure that they're, like, your first responsibility is to yourself.
And then if I come back, let's say hypothetically we broke up, you broke up with me because I cheated on you, and I hit you up 3 to 6 months down the line. I was like, hey, I went to therapy, I've changed, I'm a different person. Do you really want to take that gamble?
I might.
You might take that gamble? I couldn't do it.
I think it'd be really hard. That's what I'm saying. I think that it depends on the relationship. Like, I have heard of people that have been married for 10, 15, because we're 3 years in right now, you know what I mean? But I've heard of people that will get married, be married for 10, 15 years, and life obviously changes a lot, especially like when you've got kids and stuff. And there are other pieces that will go into that relationship where you're just so disjointed that then an affair happens or infidelity happens wherever it is that it happens. I think that in that kind of a situation, or like a situation where we know that we've been going through it, we've had all of this family, all of these emergencies, we've been dying for 3 years, you know what I mean? And now we have something crazy like infidelity that happens. We separate, we divorce, we break up, whatever. And a year later, 9 months later, the partner who did the cheating comes back and says, I'm sorry, I love you, I have been working on this. I feel like I'd consider it, at least.
I don't think I could.
Really? I get that.
I don't think I could ever get over the thought of you looking at me, you looking at our relationship as a whole, and being like, I'm willing to lose all of this that we've built that's so beautiful for somebody else. Because to me, that looks like you have no faith, no trust in me that I would literally hand you the world on a silver platter if you asked me to.
That's true.
That means that...
And how little faith do you have in your relationship?
Right. That means that I would not feel like I was enough. Because if I'm literally feeling like I'm giving you 100 and 1,000,000% every single day, and you go find somebody else, either some random Joe Schmo or somebody from the past, especially somebody from the past, that looks like that's a comfort thing to me. You going back to what you're comfortable with.
I agree.
Because you went back to an ex. Or if it was some random Joe Schmo, you're one to give some random Joe Schmo an opportunity to fulfill your needs, but you wouldn't give your boyfriend of 3 years or your husband of 12 years the same opportunity to fulfill your wants or your needs. What does that say about how you view me? Like,
and how could I trust you the next time things get hard?
Right.
Like,
because things weren't even hard and you weren't willing to come to me. So if I give you another opportunity down the line, granted, you might have changed, you might have grown, you might have went through therapy, but you're being put back in the same situation. And who's to say that you're gonna adapt to the new situation and change within that situation, or are you gonna convert back to what's comfortable,
and what
which is being the same person you were when you were with me?
That's true.
I would be a fucking fool to say that I would not consider being back with you if this were to transpire, you were to cheat, and then 9 months down the line you're like, hey, I miss you, I want to be with you. I'd be a fucking fool. I'd be crying I would have a massive internal battle of trying to weigh the pros and cons, like really be weighing the pros and cons of not taking you back, because I know the love that we had and how amazing it was, all the good,
But in all reality, could you actually get over it? I don't know.
Every time I look at you, I would see you walking out that door being with somebody else, and it would fucking hurt my soul. Even though you're not currently doing it,
Look, I'm gonna cry.
Right? Like I couldn't fathom that thought of. I couldn't.
The depth of how badly that would wound you.
Can I say shatter people? Don't get me wrong. I would understand like the relationship just didn't work out. It is what it is. Like it's like you cheated. There's nothing I can do about it. It's already said and done. I get all that.
Right.
But does it make it hurt any less? No. Am I gonna grieve any less? Am I gonna try to thug it up? You know what? Fuck her. That's just her. I can move on to the next just like that.
I'm gonna try.
I don't even want to try to move on with nobody else. I don't even know if it would. I'm a thug, I ain't gonna cry. It would break me into pieces seeing you walk away. Then having to look you in the face to say, no, I can't take you back. Even though everything in my body's like, take her back. But I have to look at you in your face and I can't take you back. I'm just that hurt. Nah, I don't think I can personally do it. I'm sorry, sweetheart.
It's okay.
I know this is all hypothetical, but I am so...
You're right, and I think...
Like, I couldn't even speak it hypothetically without crying, let alone physically do the action of cheating, because I just...
And then you want me to come back and try to forgive you and pretend that it didn't happen?
Because the love that I have for you, woman, like, I know you love me. I always am going to feel like I love you more, even though you make me feel like you love me more. But I feel like I always love you more. And like to not have that love anymore, of loving each other more, because we throw it all away because of what?
No.
And then to have you try to come back after that?
No.
Or I try to come back after that?
No.
It would be hard as fuck to say, I can't take you back. But is it necessary? I would have to, because the alternative is feeling like I'm stepping on eggshells, or feeling like, oh, if I do this one thing, she's going to leave again, or he's going to leave again, or if I fuck up and say the wrong thing, like they're gonna leave, or if I don't do this, or if I do this, and then it questions my actions. Am I doing these things because I want to, or am I doing these things because I'm living in fear that you're gonna leave again? I don't want to have to question my actions nor your actions, or my motive or your motive based on... And
you're right, those doubts would stay with you for the entire relationship, and you'll probably carry them over into your next relationship.
I'm trying to tell you, I know a lot of people be like, oh, I'm never dating again after this relationship, because I get feeling that way. You're so in love, and it's hard to imagine recreating this type of love in another relationship with somebody else. I personally feel like it may be possible, but I'm not willing to go out there and try. I don't want to. This is it for me, and if it isn't this, I don't want nothing else. Like, if this didn't work, I would probably be like, I get a house on the hill with some sheep and be by my fucking self.
Be a little hermit.
And raise the kids and just be a single dad.
Cry a lot at night.
Not even cry a lot, just be quiet. A lot of meditating, a lot of self-reflection, a lot of just enjoying nature. I would just be in peace. I wouldn't want to be around anybody else. I wouldn't want to.
I don't think I could trust someone. Like, this is the most I could ever trust someone, how much I trust you. And if this got broken, I don't think I'd be willing to do it again.
The type of vulnerability, the type of love, it took so much work.
So much work.
So much work, inner work, outer work, together work. A lot of experiences, a lot of knowledge we've gained, a lot of conversations, a lot of communications, a lot of tears, a lot of this.
You're right. I wouldn't want to do it again.
I couldn't. There's no physical way I would have the emotional, mental, and physical endurance to even remotely do this again. I couldn't do it again with you. I couldn't do it again with nobody else. This is it.
I love you.
I love you too, baby. How do you feel?
Yeah.